welcome to Fine. I'll watch it. I'm Matt Christy.
I'm James Pope, apparently.
You're old man Cope. You're now officially old man Cope. Yep. Going forward,
I am old man. That's all right.
That green guy over there smoking Phat J, he is not going to be with us today, which is going to make this episode even more hilarious because it's talking about the top 3 things we're looking forward to in 2025, and we're going to make up his reasons for him. So, before we...
I thought we were all looking forward most was the downfall of Western civilization. The important thing to know is like what movies and TV shows are coming out while we live through an actual Hunger Games, or if you're cool, a battle royale.
Would you rather be these things that we are actually watching, or the reality of the battle royale, Hunger Games, dystopian entertainment?
Well, I mean, it's like first off, almost any movie or TV reality I would take over our own reality, because most of the religion has to be real in those, as where ours religion is fake. So it's like they get an afterlife. I thought Bilbo went to the fucking Crystal Shores and shit. We ain't gonna get that. We're gonna be dead outside of Burger King. Outside of Burger King.
Before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button to, get notified when we're going to be on, because we don't know when we're going to be on. We almost weren't on today. Hey. Technology, it's wonderful. It works perfectly. It works perfectly every time. Never fails. Never fails.
No. Go down nihilism. Everything frees up a lot.
Yeah. It'd be great when there's fewer people in the world, won't it? Oh boy, Nazis! All right, I got one in, so it's gonna be wonderful. All right, let's go right into it. We're gonna handle this by showing some things.
Let's talk about the comedy of this. We're talking about things we're excited of in 2025. The last 4 years have been kind of a shit show for media for profit. I know you guys want to call it movies, you want to call it television, you want to call it streaming. It's media for profit. Let's just call a duck a duck. So in our media for profit, the last 4 years, we have hit like comical low after low after low. So I'm not going into 2025 going like, this is going to be great, because I have nothing good coming up that I came out of. I paid to see 65, the Adam Driver movie. I saw that in the theater. I saw Cocaine Bear in the theater. I saw, good lordy, what was the one with the fucking, we call him Beatrice. God damn it. Who's the young Professor X?
McAvoy? You talking about See No, or Hear No Evil, Speak No Evil, whatever it's called?
Yeah, Speak No Evil. First off, that movie had a superhero in it. It was the Tesla car that did not break down, no matter how far they drove it, and with no charging, which was amazing.
Hey, Fuhrer Musk would have us believe that anyway, so...
I was like, Bruce Campbell's gun in Army of Darkness got more realism than that Tesla car. It's the movies I've seen in theaters for the last 3 or 4 years have been pretty fucking terrible, and even movies that people think are good, which has become an abstract thing, like Nosferatu or It. Or not. It Chapter 1 was really good, but Dune 1 and 2, good lord. The silly in the ass Wonka movie. This stuff is shit. Half a wicked.
You're naming things that I haven't even come close to seeing, even at home. I saw the 2 Dune movies, but the rest of it was like, it's released on one of those streaming networks. I don't care. I had no interest in seeing it. James Cope's life, just a boring mess, and just forced to see all these terrible things.
Yeah, but it's just like, I'll say this. When I look at the media for profit that have been big names, even if you didn't see the Dune movies or, Jesus, I already forgot the fucking James McAvoy name of the movie. You just said it. You just said the name and I forgot it. That's how fucking forgettable. Some of these goddamn movies. People spent money to make these. It's amazing. I already forgot it. Yeah. I guess what we're looking at here is like we're excited for this year, but are we really? Is there stuff to be excited about?
Hey.
Give me hope. Give me hope, Christensen. What is your first thing? What is the first thing you're excited about?
Let's go. Let's throw it on screen. The first thing we're talking about right now is The Wastelands. Superman.
What the fuck is The Wasteland?
Superman. I didn't realize we wrote a trailer. James, you threw this up there for yourself, the Superman movie.
I did. I am giving myself permission to have hope that Superman will not be a pile of shit.
Well, you know that
Superman is only one of the best comic book characters, and everybody's like, "Oh, he sucks." Then you don't understand comics or the mythology of comics at all. Almost like when people say that, and I've had to live through 40 fucking years of people bashing Superman when he is an amazing character. And it's kind of sad that like Superman 1 and 2 and a scene in 3 is still all we have on film to show this amazing character. We have thousands of amazing comics. Thousands. And even people who didn't like Superman, like your Alan Moores and Frank Millers, would get mad that everybody fucked up Superman. And it broke my heart because I think Harry, what's his fucking name?
Henry Cavill?
The Henry Cavill.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that guy. I think he's an amazing Superman. He is geeky, perfect human shape. Like if you were like, hey, just draw me a perfect human. Somebody who's going to draw that Henry Cavill. They're going to draw him. He's like a perfect looking human, and you guys wouldn't let him. He was in fucking 4 Superman movies, and you guys wouldn't let him speak ever. And the closest time we ever got to him speaking was apparently when Joss Whedon showed up to the set and beat up everybody and forced him to speak for 5 minutes. So, and you had to CGI his face so that he could speak for those 5 minutes. It's like, my God. So, yeah, there is a runner-up that I had for my part 3, which I might go over later. But I'm hoping that Superman is a good film. Is James Gunn the right writer-director to do it? No, he isn't. But you know what? We had the right writer-director many a times with Superman, and it never worked out. Superman Returns should have knocked us all off our asses, and it didn't. Man of Steel should have knocked us off our asses, and it didn't. Batman versus Superman should have knocked us off our asses, and it didn't. And so it's like I need a universe where the best Superman movie wasn't from 1979 or 80. You know,
Superman Returns was one of those movies that is like, I think it was simultaneously too far removed from the other Superman movies and not far enough from Christopher Reeve's death. It's like, it was just an unfortunate thing. Brandon Routh was an amazing Superman for that time.
With really, oh my God, his Clark Kent eating that stupid burrito, little shit like that. Like it was like there were so many. We've had so many times we almost got there, and so I just want to live in a world where, Superman should be a home run for a character. Like there's certain characters that should be home runs. A Hulk movie should not be hard. I don't care what anybody says. It's just Jekyll and Hyde. Just do a Jekyll and Hyde movie. You got it. Like Shazam should not be hard, but he still sucks.
Shazam's hard when when it's played by a Nazi.
Yeah, that sucks. So what are you gonna do, eh? There seems to be a lot of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that there's certain superheroes lend very easily to this should be a home run, and certain superheroes are hard to get across on screen. So it's nice when I'm hoping that Superman is not a big pile of shit. I hope it's a great Superman story. So that would make my day.
Hey,
so, yeah.
I am all for this movie. Not one of my tops, but I'm all for this movie. This was also one of Jared's 3 picks. So you guys shared that one.
I want to say it was maybe a comic book geek thing of like, we just need this to be good. Like, everything sucks so bad, like, both in society, reality, and in media for profit, where it's like, God, man, I nearly got beat up at Man of Steel. I saw Man of Steel at the midnight show, and I laughed out loud twice. I laughed out loud twice at that fucking. And other geeks were in the theater looking at me. It was next to the Googleplex over in Mountain View. And as soon as his dad said no to saving him, I laughed out loud because it was like, that's genuinely funny. I'm like, there's 50 ways Superman can stop a hurricane, motherfucker. And he clips his toes on Earth and just fart us out of the way. Like, fuck, man. Like, it's like endless. There's different things he could have done. So, like, that made me laugh, and all the cops are in the sewers made me laugh out loud. Where it was like people got mad at me that I was laughing, and I was like, "Fuck you! If you're gonna do something this stupid, I laugh at you. Like I have no shame in that."
I'm sorry, but also for Man of Steel, not only that, but the fact that all these people from Midwest who experience tornadoes don't know the safety rule of don't hide underneath an overpass to creating yourself a vacuum and making it more dangerous for yourself. That's just like, okay, great.
I don't want to get out of a Man of Steel rant there, but it was also like one of the best qualities of the Superman story is that his parents were so loving and kind and open. And then the Man of Steel's parents are like, fuck humans, don't help anybody, you better hide. Somebody asks for help, punch them in the face. If you see a bunch of nuns falling, let them die. If there's ever a bald guy that launches a couple of nuclear warheads to like blow up the San Andreas fault, let him. He was raised by the shittiest people in the world in Man of Steel. It's just like, good lord. Anyway,
yes. Well,
open Superman's back.
Nope. Here we are. Let's open. All right. Next thing up, it'll be a shared one for Jay and I. Fantastic Four. So I chose my third one after this trailer dropped. It's like I was looking forward to Fantastic Four because of the three movies. Only because the three movies that came out beforehand were so either mediocre or in the James Trask version just terrible. I was like, we gotta have something. We gotta have something going for us right there. Pedro Pascal being cast as Mr. Fantastic is an inspiring choice for his like being such a not a Mr. Fantastic like actor and everything else like that. This teaser trailer came out and it solidified that okay, maybe they do have an idea of what they are doing. It's
an amazing.
This minute 30.
It's smart trailer. I am not excited about this movie. I am not excited about the 3 Marvel movies coming out this year at all. And I have a list of why I'm not excited. It's called Phase 4 and 5, and I can read them off to you.
That's fine. Of the 3 that are coming out this year, though, this one is the one I'm now looking the most forward to. Not that I wasn't going to go see Thunderbolts and Captain America: Brave New World, but like I'm actually looking forward to this now. It's like it's an alternate universe. You could have a reset. Great, do it. Please do something. And
every comic book geek I've ever talked to in any comic shop, any comic convention, anything, this is the trailer they've been waiting for. Like this is it. It looks like Jack Kirby shit brought to life with fucking Stanley's whimsical dialogue, and that's when Fantastic Four works its best. And so, yeah.
And it's going away from the trope that everybody's felt they needed to do, which I can understand to an extent, but it's like it gets tiring after a while. We've said it before. This doesn't have the origin story as being a story point to it. Like the shots of them going up and everything like that are just archived news footage. That seemed like it's going to be interspersed throughout. It's like, so they've existed as this group for a while, and it's like, great.
And that's, you know what? I always get mad about, like, one of our earliest superhero films gave us the template to skip past that, which is the fucking Tim Burton Batman.
Yeah.
Which his origins in it, but it's not like the start or the end. It's just because we're there to watch Batman, not and yeah. If your movie's called Batman Begins, sure, we're there to watch the origin story. But this needing to spend a whole movie on just an origin story always feels like kind of a cash grab to me. Get on with your story.
But even
we don't.
I'm saying even Batman Begins, though, it didn't focus on him and his parents being killed. Like, his parents getting killed happened in the movie, but that wasn't the main story beat. It was his relationship with his father as he grew up, and how it was interspersed with how his life developed after the fact. So it's like, no, both Batman and Batman Begins, like, great, you could talk about the origin, but you don't have to focus on it.
Yeah,
and
just get on with it.
And this one is like, you're already in the world. Great, thank you. We don't need a full introduction, because if you don't know who the Fantastic Four, you don't know how they're created and everything like that, so well, then do what they tell you to do anyway. Go read a fucking comic, or I don't know, use the internet to figure it out.
Blind and enjoy it.
Yeah.
We didn't know, like, dude, we didn't know The Incredibles when we went and saw the first movie. By the end of it, we loved them. Yeah. Like, it's make it a good movie, and it doesn't matter if you read the comic or not.
But even
that trailer looks great.
But even The Incredibles, they don't have an origin. It's like they just have superpowers. Great, awesome.
Yep. You don't need to know anymore. Like, just go. Give us your story. The thing going against the Fantastic Four movie is Black Widow, The Eternals, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Ant-Man and Wasp in the Quantum Universe, Thor: Love and Thunder.
I'm not saying Shang-Chi was good in that. Like, Shang-Chi was like the only good from all that. But do you remember that Shang-Chi was a part of that? No, you didn't, obviously. So
it's on the list. I just didn't say it. It's just fine. I didn't care for it as much as you. I was just like, and also the second Black Panther movie. But the second Black Panther movie to me was, and I didn't bring up Marvels, and Marvels suck shit.
You gave Marvels your highest 2 you've ever given a movie. And that, in fact, that started the meme of James Copen 2.
Fucking Marvels was unwatchable. But I understand, like, hey, there's other people that might be watching it for other things. But I'm watching a movie for plot, character, entertainment value, any sort of substance. And when there's none of those, it's really hard to rate it anything higher.
No, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. And the nice thing about this trailer, too, is it's so far hidden Mr. Fantastic's stretchy powers. So, we don't know how that looks yet.
It's always going to be weird. It's a weird power. I always thought that was weird that people were like, that's such a cool power. How? Like, am I seeing... Is this a penis thing?
It's a penis thing. It's 100% a penis thing.
It's a penis thing. That's what it is. That's gotta be what it is. It's like, but I never thought about saving the world with my penis, but I guess that's what it is.
Although it does bring up the only joke thing I thought about when watching this trailer is, man, Mr. Fantastic doesn't come across as a dick in this trailer at all. Where's that part of his characterization?
Exactly. They're going they're going for a soft. They very much felt like a softer Reed Richards. It's Alfred Molina being a softer Doc Ock. Like, no. Yeah.
No, but like I said, the trailer solidified for me that this is something I'm actually looking forward to. Like, of the Marvel stuff that we know is coming out so far this year, this is up there as one of the highest for that. So, like, that even counts the rest of the. Well, no, I take it back. Daredevil, but it's not on my list. Daredevil, just want to watch anyways. And I have some trepidation. Of it because season 3 was good, but not as good as the first 2 seasons. And
I still think, like, Daredevil season 1 and season 2 and the first season of Avengers, there's at least one episode from each of those that is better than anything that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ever produced, better than, like, anything that half the comic book TV show. So it's like, I think I will hold them up a little high. Daredevil 3 was nearly on my list, too.
It's Daredevil 4, by the way. But,
Damn.
This is season 4. There was a season 3 on Netflix. That's like one of the last things that showed from the Netflix everything. So, and basically this carries.
Defenders was season 3, right? Or what were they?
Which one? No, the Defenders. No, Defenders was its own thing.
Yeah.
It went.
There's a season 3 on top of it. All right,
There
I'll
was a
look it
season
up.
3 on top of it, and there was a season 2 of Punisher. Season 2 of Jessica Jones was. Season 2 of Luke Cage was okay, and there actually was also a season 2 of Iron Fist, which I haven't watched. I swear to God, there was. Just because nobody watched it, including us, doesn't mean there wasn't. It existed. It existed. So
I'm sorry. If an Iron Fist falls in the woods and nobody's there to watch it, did it happen?
If you listen to white people, sometimes yes.
There you go.
All right, let's go on. Jared's third one, which we'll talk about because I don't know what it is. Oh, patch 8 update for Baldur's Gate 3. Well, good for him. I have this game on PS5. It'll come to PS5 eventually because I don't think it's initially releasing on that. I mean, the community for Baldur's Gate 3 is wonderful. You can do mods on the console system now too, so not as many as you can do on the PC, obviously, but it's good of them to continue on with this game, especially since they don't probably have much else going on for themselves. But the game is fun. With the controversy and with some of the issues with Dungeons and Dragons now and basically what Wizards of the Coast is doing with it, this is probably one of the best things that exists. Because like even Critical Role has gone away from the Dungeons and Dragons format. They've created their own formats for how they do all their stuff now. So, I mean, if you like Dungeons and Dragons, this is probably the best you have, or your home games, and then just ignore all the other stuff that's going on with them and, just have fun with it. So.
I play Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Did you? Is there a demo for that?
Not yet, but I want there to be. That'd be nice.
Fair enough. All right, we're going next. We're going with me. Switch 2. I am looking forward to the Switch 2.
Switch 2? What are you looking for? Okay, tell me on the Switch 2, you jackass. Okay. Let's hear it.
So, Nintendo finally, I mean, it's Nintendo, so they do their own things all the time. Nintendo finally going with the naming convention. I'm just going to numericalize these things now and just make a better version of what we already have going for us. The Switch.
Yeah.
The Switch, as wonderful as the system is, and it's probably the most well-rounded system that it's both something you can do at home and something you can do on the go, is old. It's reached the limit of what you can do for it that doesn't make it feel like it's a niche system anymore, apart from everything else that exists.
I would argue they released that shit not having a good plan. Like, I love the Switch. That shit, like, in a world of 1080p was like, y'all like 70/30? It was always, it felt weird when it came out because it was like, even the Breath of the Wild is my favorite game ever made, ever. But even the graphics that went like for a softer, more not detailed, but more soft look. And they did that. They were very smart to do that on all those because their system did not have, dude, and I hate Apple, but any iPad had 10 times the memory power and visual power of any Switch device. So then it kind of becomes, okay, your games better be fucking really good if you are not going to have the look and design. So there was always going to be, I think, a Switch 2 coming, which really they should have just called the Switch 1. They just wanted to get the Switch 1 out to compete with everybody else, even though they probably weren't ready to release the Switch.
So, I mean, you go by the history of Nintendo. So you have the Super Nintendo, then you go to Nintendo 64. Nintendo 64 was Nintendo being Nintendo, and they're like, we're going to stay cartridge. We're going to stay cartridge-based. And once you go and do the history search on all this, you realize that oh, we were developing this system that was going to be a hybrid cartridge disc system that we were going to make in conjunction with Sony. And then we Nintendoed this and decided to kick Sony to the curb because we don't fucking need them. And thus the PlayStation was born and competed directly with the Nintendo 64. Nintendo 64 had the games, PlayStation had the graphics, and then also had games eventually. So, plus Nintendo doing this weird controller thing from the 64 on. Not to say that you and I didn't get many hours of enjoyment playing Nintendo 64 multiplayer games, a la GoldenEye and Mario Kart and all that, and the Mario parties and everything like that. But it was obviously not the most powerful system there was. And
Yep.
the PlayStation being such a heavy hitter at the time and being the new kid on the block, people gravitated towards that. Sorry, Sega, that people didn't really like your ideas, even though you came up with them first. But hey, what are you going to do? Then you go to the GameCube. A GameCube, again, a wonderful system, but it didn't sell. And then the true Nintendo thing of releasing a Wii. And the Wii was like just this incredible thing that happened in 100 million systems sold. And
So they went back to like, we want to make a family entertainment system. And what does that mean in the 2000s? And that was make it a fun device that anybody can pick up at a party and just start playing. And it worked well for them. Just those of us who were playing Nintendo for the games were like, well, this sucks.
You could buy the regular controller for it. Play your Zeldas that way, although you couldn't play with Skyward Sword that way very well. And then they had the Wii U. Wii U was basically Nintendo released a beta version of the Switch a few years before the Switch came out.
The version of the fucking Switch. So the Wii U is just kind of like, I had an idea one night.
An idea.
Jesus.
We're going to put it out there. Just like we put out the Virtua Boy. Y'all remember the Virtua Boy, right? We released it. We don't know how it tested, but we released it. Wii U. We released it. Was it the best idea in the world? Nope. Did we have rigorous playtesting? Nope.
So that's your argument. You're excited for the Switch 2 because you think the Switch 2 is going to be the Switch done correctly.
I think it's going to be. It's not. I don't believe the Switch wasn't done correctly. The Switch was done correctly for when it was released and what was available for what they wanted to do by making a true hybrid system that's a handheld and console. I think they finally figured out the power scaling issue on it and the graphics and everything on it. So it is going to be a better overall system than what the Switch is. I mean, you could say the same thing about Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo was a better overall system than the Nintendo. They're the same basic system, but they just upgraded the graphics and everything, graphic cards and everything for it. So, plus it near fully backwards compatible now with the Switch, which they haven't had in a while. Like people are worried, so what games aren't going to work? Well, the games aren't going to work are the games that you need specific Joy-Cons for that you can't fucking do on the Switch 2 because they changed the entire thing. They're showing the mouse functionality possibility of the controllers, which I'm looking forward to if that works as well as it looks like it's going to work. Because I'll play some Metroid 4 with some fucking mouse controller compatibility. Because I enjoyed playing the Metroid games when they get remapped to the Wii. I don't know if you ever did that. They went back. On the GameCube I played all the Metroid Prime games. Those blew me away because they were the same but different. I love the Metroid series because it's always the same but different. Well, on the Wii they went back and put the trilogy together in one set and remapped it to 3's controls, where you could now start using the Wiimote to aim and just use the stick to move around.
Okay.
So it was like more immersive in terms of if you wanted to play it that way. So it was nice.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, also the other consoles we've had recently, the PlayStation 5. The PlayStation 5, I don't believe Sony's numbers every time they release this. Oh, it sold this many systems. It's like one of the top-selling systems. Like, how? You guys failed at the launch. Nobody really had it. You didn't even have the numbers, but somehow you're claiming that you sold at this many systems. I don't believe any part of that. PlayStation 5 as a system even though it is now one of the more fully backwards compatible with the previous system, PlayStation 4, Sony until next year is still like hardcore supporting the PlayStation 4. So it's like 6 years. It's gonna be 6 years of this PlayStation 5, where the PlayStation 5 isn't even their main system per se. So Nintendo will continue selling the Switch, obviously, but they at least have some sense to move forward, or they just have the stupidity of, we're going to move forward and whatever to the other system, we'll support it till it's no longer viable for us to support it anymore. So, but no, I'm just, as a system, I'm just looking forward to the system. One, because I enjoy Nintendo. Two, because like, great, I want a better Switch. If a better Switch is a slightly better Switch, has better graphics, great, perfect, bring it.
Exactly. I love the Switch, but I also know that the Switch is, when it came out, and I like looked, you can look at the specs on any sort of game system and stuff, and I looked it up, and it was like, we can achieve 780 like of those delicious P you love, and everything on it was kind of like, wow, it's coming out and it's already outdated. You know, it's like, this is not. This isn't even the second or third highest. This is like the fifth and sixth highest resolution, game chip, everything. And so it was like, well, hopefully they got some really good games, and they did.
And like in that first year too, which is amazing for any console. That the games they had that first year, like, all right, great.
Both name and independent weren't bad, so it was like it was fine.
Like third party came in late, and at least you get with this one, you get third party support right off the bat. So, and for us, best thing is that we're gonna take Thursday, the 3rd of April, to talk about this system, probably because after they drop the more information, we have more to go off of. So look forward to that episode coming up while we're both talking about the Daredevils at the same time. So, James,
did one of us pick the Daredevil show?
The what?
Did somebody pick the Daredevil show for their most anticipated?
No. I'm talking about it'll be going on at the same time. Daredevil will be airing the same time that the Switch Direct happens. So on that particular Thursday, April 3rd, we'll be talking about both. Next is James's number 2, and James's number 2, I'll tell you what comes up on the screen here, James, so you can talk about it. The Running Man.
So this is an odd duck. This is going to be the odd person out. This is Edgar Wright's next film. And it's a remake of a 1980s action film that starred Arnold Schwarzenegger called Running Man. The book Running Man was written by Richard Bachman. Richard Bachman was a real writer who died, and then his last 8 books were written by Stephen King under an alias. Okay, so let's rewind. We have a book written by Stephen King that wasn't written by Stephen King, made into a movie that was starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. And who's the guy from The Love Connection?
From The Love Connection? No, you're talking about Family Feud. Yeah.
So those start them. Now, if you've ever seen the 1980s Running Man action film, it's a pile of shit. I love it. I love every minute of it. I love every cheesy, horrible thing about it.
It's one of the most 80s movies you can have.
Oh God! It's no notes. It is so perfect.
It is comparable to RoboCop in terms of the satire that it's throwing at you for how it views the world.
The difference is, I would say RoboCop is actually a smart, well-executed film, and this is kind of a dumb executed film. Like, it never once gets to that satire level of I'd buy that for $1. Americans needing catchphrase TV shows to keep us sedated. Why the police force is literally bought off by corporations and people are turned into fucking actual products to attack and hunt us down. Yeah,
you know, it's funny.
There's a little more
Yeah, you know what's funny? 40 years later, it's more apt of a movie than it was when it came out.
First off, all of Crazy Ass Verhoeven's films, we're going to go back and find out that Showgirls was the smartest script ever at some point. Like, it's
No.
RoboCop we all knew, and we all were kind of wise to fucking Starship Troopers. Like, all of us that saw Starship Troopers left the theater going, that's clearly saying something,
I still don't care about Starship Troopers, but go on.
And it's, dude, again, this guy also like doubled down on Showgirl. So like, this is the guy who's a little nuts as far as artistic vision goes.
Yeah.
The reason why I picked this is because really, when I think about it, Edgar Wright has not made a bad property yet.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I have not seen One Night in Soho.
It's a horror. It's fine.
Okay.
But it's a horror movie done in that like 1970s Italian horror, which he loves.
Yeah.
But I would argue, was that ever really a good subgenre of things? Each to their own. Yeah, Last Night in Soho for me was just fine. It's definitely the weakest of his films, but he has no bad movie. It's every one of his movies is gorgeous and interesting and much smarter than we give it credit for. The more you go back and watch Shaun of the Dead, the more you see everything connect. The more you go back and watch, Hot Fuzz or even Scott Pilgrim vs. Baby Driver, World's End, any of them. Like, it's like he doesn't have a bad film. And so, Last Night in Soho is his worst film, and it's still better than anything that came out most of last year, including like Nosferatu and half a Wicked. So, I know nothing about Running Man, other than it's the remake of that 80s film based on a Richard Bachman book that's not by Richard Bachman. It's by Stephen King, and I don't care because it's Edgar Wright, and he's one of the artists right now that I can blindly support, where I can go like, oh, Edgar Wright's doing something. It's Quentin Tarantino releases another film, I will buy a ticket. And his batting average is not 100%. His batting average is like 60-40, but that 60 knocked it out of the park so much that I will go buy it. And I feel with Edgar Wright stuff, it's one of those that like, I'm just going to buy a ticket to the next Edgar Wright movie, and I'm probably going to say that for the next couple.
That works for me. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get the Butcher of Bakersfield moniker that Arnold Schwarzenegger had in the original one.
It's from the book, and a long-lost friend of ours, Rod Lester, is a radio DJ in San Francisco and Oakland, and guess what his handle name is?
Butcher of Bakersfield.
The Butcher of Bakersfield. He did, and it's like, I was like, that's got to be a 0.5% joke. Like, how many people are gonna get that joke?
Yep.
So.
Yep. So. Definitely. I'll try to catch this one. Probably not in theaters, but I'll definitely try to catch one because it is Edgar Wright, and I do enjoy Edgar Wright.
Yeah, go watch Edgar Wright's films. If it's an Edgar Wright film or TV show, you're doing all right.
I wish we go to that multiverse and get his version of Ant-Man. But whatever.
It's one of the. I understand both sides of the argument. Yep. I understand Marvel saying, like, dude, if you don't fly the ships the way we tell you, you can't fly a ship. And I understand his point of view of saying, I wrote this ship and I'm going to make the best ship, but I am not here to get marching orders about how to make a ship. Yeah. And it's like they're both correct. Yeah. And that's one of those times where they're both right.
And it's difficult. It's difficult because we didn't get his version of Ant-Man. The Ant-Man we got was a decent movie. The first Ant-Man was a decent movie. So, like, all right, it's hard. It's hard in that regard, but it is what it is.
Yep.
That's where we live. Till the multiverse is found, and we can traverse between. So,
yep.
All right, my next and last one, James Cove. You don't care about this at all, and I love it. Andor season 2.
I do not care. That is very true.
Andor is the best Star Wars thing that has come out in the last at least decade for Star Wars properties. I mean, I enjoyed me some Skeleton Crew, but Andor took the concept of Star Wars, made it serious, and it all worked. For whatever stupid reason, it all worked. Probably because, fighting against Nazis is a topical thing, and you need to do that more. But like the acting on it was great. The casting choices for some of the characters was great. The through line for the story on how it was working along with the time that took place 5 years before Rogue One, which Rogue One is a good movie. Is it on par with the original trilogy? Maybe not so much, but of all the spin-off movies, it's great. Of all the trilogy and prequel movies, it's better than those. So it's like number 4 of all the Star Wars movies.
Having jokey jokes in it, like I didn't need Darth Vader cracking wise and force choking people as like a side joke or whatever. Like there were things in God, what is that? What is that one called?
Which one of them? There's a lot of them. Which one specifically?
The movie with before Star Wars 4.
It's before Star Wars 4? The Revenge of the Sith?
No. The one we're talking about, that Andor connects to.
Oh, Andor for Rogue One.
Rogue One. Yeah. Rogue One is that poor movie is hit or miss. Like there's like 2 or 3 brilliant scenes, and there's 2 or 3 brilliant concepts, and then there's a lot of Darth Vader cracking jokes and shit where it's just like none of this works.
I think what it was is that they weren't at the point for like Andor, where Andor was like, we're just going to take this seriously. If humor exists, humor exists on a more natural level, as opposed to we're going to try to put these Star Wars-y type jokes and everything in. Rogue One, for when it was released, was still in that phase of, we got to make it Star Wars. We're trying to make it more than just Star Wars. We're trying to make a serious movie around these events and everything else like that, but we got to have those Star Wars-y things that are in it. And yes, it was hit or miss in terms of the Star Wars-y things, whether or not they worked or not. The Darth Vader choking the guy out, no, that wasn't that great. Darth Vader walking down the hall, murking people with his lightsaber, that was fucking badass, and that's the same movie. So I mean, it's like,
exactly. That's amazing. That's an amazing scene. Like,
it's like you got both. You also got Uncanny Valley Christopher Lee, which was okay. You made a choice on that, which will be interesting to see. They bring him into season 2 here.
Fucking Grandma Tarkin. When they first showed his face in the reflection, I was like, wow, really smart. Keep it simple and kind of hide it. And they're like, nope, here it is.
We're not
hiding like, shit.
We're going to put it right in front of your fucking face.
Yeah, man.
But the thing for Andor season 2, what you got at least is you have you get K2SO. So you already got your Alan Tudyk character that's going to be in this season, because they're skipping right ahead from when season 1 took place to the right before. So this goes right up to the events of Rogue One. So season 2 is supposed to go right up to the events of Rogue One. And the original plan was going to try to make 5 seasons to make the 5-year gap. But then no, I'm saying that was the original plan, but then they scrapped it and went with this. So they got the introduction of the characters out of the way, and now they're going to this point right here. So, it logs it keeps the same tone, and level everything. You bring in Tudyk in, so at least you got your humor there, because Tudyk was one of the better parts of Rogue One as well, just for being a dick in K2SO. Yeah. So like, great. I am all for this. Comes out at the end of April. James Cope will not watch a single episode. No, I take it back. James Cope will watch 2 episodes. They will not be in order, and they'll just be random episodes that he picks to watch at some time in the middle, despite the fact we tell him, here's the ones you want to watch. So.
Right. Andor, my experience was I was bored to tears, and then you guys forced me to watch a couple episodes, and a couple episodes are really good. There are a couple of really good, and the look, the tone is very different. It still fits in with the world, but it very much is taking a all quiet on the Western Front standpoint of talking about the Star Wars universe, and so I liked Andor. I did not have the love for Andor that you did. So would I see this? Sure. Like there were things that got established. The fucking prisoners making the stuff on the Death Star. That's a great episode. And just kind of like the buildup of who they are and what they're trying to do. There's so many great ideas they have. I just wish, I don't know. It's a bigger topic for another day. But yeah. I'll watch some Andor season 2. I hope it's good.
So I said you'll watch it disconjointedly. You'll watch random episodes as opposed to watching things together. Then you'll be like, I don't understand why this happened. Say, well, just fucking watch the rest of the episodes. No, not gonna do that.
No, that's me. That's what I
know. It is what you say. You'll watch it the day after you watch those 2 episodes of Rebels we've been trying to get you to watch for 2 years.
And I didn't want to watch The Mandalorian. I was forced to watch The Mandalorian a la fucking Clockwork Orange. Like, that's how I watched the first season of Mandalorian.
Who the fuck I forced you to watch the first season of Mandalorian?
Everybody. I didn't want, no, it was before we were doing this. I was just like, I'm not watching that. I don't care enough about Boba Fett. I don't care enough about the Boba Fett look. The look and the lore of that whole world does not interest me. That is not, I'm not watching my Star Wars for that shit. He looks cool. He does cool things in the original, in 4, 5, and 6. But it's like, I don't need more of the folklore of the Mandalorians. I don't. And so I just refuse to watch it, just out of principle.
That premiered during the dark times, James. There was nothing else to watch.
Exactly. That was fucking everybody's argument. What else we gonna watch? It's like, dude, anything. My balls, Jesus. And so
you'll see a movie in a theater? No, you're not, because you can't.
Yeah, you're not allowed to. And the Mandalorian took me a while too, where it was like. And if you go back and watch that first season, they didn't know what they were doing the first season, because the first episode is done like a movie, and then every episode after that's trying to be a sitcom, like trying to be, we have a formula, we're the Incredible Hulk, we're gonna be like we're like A-Team, we're gonna be like A-Team, we're gonna go with that formula. Like they keep switching how they're gonna tell this story, and season 2 they figure out it much better. Like, they figure it out, and season 2 of Mandalorian is much better than season 1. Yeah. So, and then kind of season 3, Boba Fett, and then what we get. And so, yeah. But I don't want to watch that. I don't. I'm very opinionated on my Star Wars, because Star Wars needs to be simplistic storytelling with fun and amazing moments. And it should have special effects or artistry that I have never seen in anything else. Basically, what I'm asking you to do when you make a Star Wars property is the fucking impossible.
Yeah, no
shit. And why am I asking that? Because fucking New Hope, Empire, and Jedi all accomplished that. And nobody has been able to accomplish that since the original 4, 5, and 6. It's just nobody,
including George Lucas.
Like nobody can. Like, you can't. Each one of those movies had shit in it we had never seen on film. Nobody had ever done the cutout green screen against white when we went to Hoth. Nobody had ever done what they tried to achieve with Return of the Jedi. Each film pushed the boundaries of like what we could kind of do with film. So that was 1. And then 2, stories that were simplistic. Anybody from 6 to 60, from 8 to 80 can watch this movie and understand absolutely who the good guy is, who the bad guy is. It don't matter. It's very simplistic. And then on top of that, in that simplicity, you must make characters that are so fucking likable we're going to want to talk about them forever or think about them forever. It's impossible. It's an impossible task.
It is an impossible
and
task.
So that's the problem.
Andor to me though is the best alternate version to that, in which you take realistic characters. You still have a clear definition of who's good and who's bad, but you have a lot of the gray area for the characters and everything like that, in terms of that they're not ultimate good, they're not necessarily ultimate evil, even though the factors they work for are the ultimate good and the ultimate evil in what we know in the universe that they're in and everything like that. But it focuses a lot on the story and the characters. The special effects are there, but they don't utilize them as much as the rest of the Star Wars properties and everything like that. Would it work better for you maybe if it was not called Star Wars in a similar universe? I don't know. But I mean, I understand your point.
Yeah.
I understand your point. And South Park did the best version of what Star Wars has become, and like all of that became with their George Lucas and Steven Spielberg episode, is like the technology was the most important thing at that point in time, and not the story and not everything else. So yeah.
It's a tricky thing to do. So, well, here's hoping Andor season 2 is. Andor season 1 wasn't bad, and I'm the hater. I'm the guy who hates everything, and I'm like, hey, there's episodes in that are really good.
You never saw the heist episode. That's episode 6. You never saw that one. You saw the 2 episodes leading up to it, then you decided not to watch the heist, and then skip ahead and watch watch the prison trilogy.
Yeah, I would do the prison shit. I liked the little old lady giving the speech, and it was like, dude, you couldn't hire anybody to write an anti-fascist speech. You didn't know anybody. A couple episodes. I know. We'll disagree.
No. My statement on that is Disney came in and changed the one bit.
You might be right, man.
They did. Because you go back and watch, she says the word that she did say, because they didn't change the mouth movement on that one. They just redubbed. Just redubbed the line. They redubbed to fight the Empire as opposed to fuck the Empire. So,
but we'll see on that one. That's one to be excited for. Good Star Wars is always a good thing.
Yep. All right, moving on. James Cope, what is your number 3? It is from 8. What is it?
The Last of Us.
Oh, Last of Us season 2. Nice, James.
Right. This is gonna get weird. We're gonna go in a little bit of a rabbit hole down James Cope's brain, and I'm drunk, so I'm not even gonna be a good guide.
That's fine.
Me and Dave Rock years ago wrote that play called Geeks vs. Zombie, and before we wrote it, I love zombies. I've been obsessed with zombies. I've had nightmares about zombies since I was a kid. And so I decided to watch everything zombie related. Everything. I did not get through everything because there's a lot of shit out there. But I did watch a lot. And here's one of the things I noticed. Real quick, without saying anything out loud, think of how many zombie movies or how many times you've seen zombies in anything. Think of how many times you've seen zombies. Now, think of how many zombie sequels you've seen that are good. And that's when it gets kind of weird. I can name off, I don't want to speak for anybody else, just off the top of my head right now, I can name off probably 100 different zombie films.
Right.
Which is nuts that I can think of that. Like, there's not 100 Jason films. There's 100 like vampire films, like base sort of monsters. There's easily
well, monster concepts are more prevalent than individual characters.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And so as far as like a concept goes, just a zombies though, I can think of many different films, right. And there's some really good ones out there that think by. I always recommend to people: children shouldn't play with dead things. You should check that out. The guy who directed fucking The Christmas Story directed that one. Of course, there's the Italian zombie films. Some of those are very good. He even helped out. But as far as zombie sequels go, There's not a lot of zombie sequels because one is hard to do because you're just redoing the same story. But there hasn't been a very good zombie sequel outside of the original zombie sequels, in my opinion, even though they are not the original, but Romero's Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead being the most important to talk about, which is the sequel that takes everything from the first one and develops on it and does it even better. Everything is done 10 times more from Night of the Living Dead to Dawn of the Dead. And no zombie movie has ever done that. No zombie anything has ever done that except for Dawn of the Dead. It's the one zombie sequel we have that is both as good as the original and in many arguments superior to the original.
Let's reemphasize this is George Romero one, not the remake
Zack
Snyder.
Written by James Gunn.
Yeah, I know. That movie's good, but it's not. There's parts of it that are. Yeah.
I went in, both me and this is a Bakersfield thing, but me and Jeff Seaton separately. If those from Bakersfield remember Jeff Seaton, because we ran into each other in LA, we both secretly went to go see Dawn of the Dead remake to hate it, and both left it going, that was actually a smart way to do Dawn of the Dead, where it's like, fuck the subtext, we're just going to do a fun trapped in the mall zombie movie. That's exactly the smart way to make that, because you either got to do as good a job or better than Romero did on Dawn of the Dead, which you're not going to do. And if you can't do that, just do a fun fucking zombie movie. And that's what they did. And I think that's very smart. So, The Last of Us Season 2, The Last of Us is a weird one because for me, and I want to say this, the other one that I was kind of excited about that didn't quite make this list was 28 Years Later. Again, a zombie sequel. And there is a zombie sequel in that realm called 28 Weeks Later. Mm-hmm. And Romero still is the only guy who has made a good zombie sequel. Yeah, no. So I hope 28 Years Later is good, but that one's a little tougher to do.
The Last of 28 Years Later, it's taking too long and not long enough to come out.
Yeah, exactly. The Last of Us, I went into wanting to hate the show because it's based on a video game, and everything you guys have made me watch, or I've watched on my own, based on video games, from the Super Brothers Mario movie to now, has been shit. And there's 2 or 3 that have been good, but those 2 or 3 do not make up for the hundreds of hours of fucking Assassin's Creed, Doom, fucking wash my balls, horrible movies I've had to watch. Again, Prince of Persia, God damn it, all of these terrible Resident Evil, everything, horrible movies. So having watched all those horrible movies, I went into The Last of Us ready to shoot it down at every moment. And I was shocked, one, by how quickly I was pulled in. And the other thing I will say for it, they had episodes that I thought were the best thing I saw of all year. The Hallmark movie episode they did with the 2 gay guys. It's the best Hallmark movie I've ever seen done on zombies ever. And the ending, which was funny because I was watching it and my wife was in the room and I was like, even before spoilers for season 1 of The Last of Us, I was like, when he found out they were going to kill her, and his whole speech, his whole arc was, I will protect you no matter what. I said, I hope he kills everybody in that building and saves her. And then not only did he, we even got to see like guys begging for their life. Like, I won't say anything, let me live. And he was like, nope, I'm Mr. Fantastic. And he fucking shoots him twice in the head. Which is funny because one other HBO show did do that for me, which was Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, I don't know the books, and I know everybody hated the ending. I love the ending because we get spoilers for the ending of Game of Thrones. We get to the city, and she's like, "Hey, release my friend, or I'll kill everybody in that city." And she's like, "And before you say I don't believe you, I have a magical, mythical creature with me. You have sharpened metal, all right, and bows and arrows. That's what you have. You have sharpened metal and bows and arrows, and I have a magical, mythical creature. And I'm saying, release my friend or I'll kill everybody." As soon as they cut the friend's head off, I was like, I hope she jumps on that dragon and kills everybody in that fucking city. Everybody in that fucking city dies. And when that happened, I was like, hey, good job. You rewarded the viewer for doing exactly what you promised. And The Last of Us did that as well. I will protect you no matter what. And if you choose me, I'll protect you no matter what. She gets to a place where they are going to kill her for what I think is the most comically stupid reasons. And he fucking murders everybody in that room. That enough was for me to say, all the zombie stuff sequels suck. I hope this one is good. And the first season shocked the shit out of me. I'm going into this excited to see it.
Well, this is going to be a season 2 of 3 because they're splitting the second game into 2 parts. So,
fuck me, Jesus, you money-hungry shitheads. All right, go.
Well, there may be a reason. Not going to spoil it for you. So,
don't make excuses for our abusers. We do not make excuses for our abusers.
No. We'll see how it plays out. I'm not making excuses right now. I'm just saying there is a specific thing that takes place in the game that I think they're going to split it for that particular reason. So, but we'll see. We'll see. I am also looking forward to this. And thank you, Carissa, for putting this in the order that you did, because
I really like this.
Hey, I have a fourth one.
Story
that
too.
fourth
like,
one.
Okay.
This is one of
James
those
Cope
that, like, I never
get the look he got for all this year watching shows when he found out that Last of Us was based on
Oh shit! Is this based on a
what
video?
you can't
It
see
is
right
based
now,
on-
James, is on screen.
Yeah.
Is
We've
the
said
clip
that
at
every
the end of
time we talk
2022 for
about
us.
this.
We told you that, and you lost. And you lost
Fucking
all
watch a
hope for
fucking
everything.
video.
Surprise,
I
motherfucker!
saved
No,
because like
I know you do. And again,
Like I
That
said,
seems like a
I'm
great
looking
place
forward
to
to
end this.
that
like I
this year
said,
for you.
we ruined the magic ourselves.
I went into the Resident Evil movie going, this the guy who directed, Event Horizon, Resident Evil solid movie. At one point, Romero was going to direct it. There's no way this movie will suck. And I left it going like, oh my God, like what happened? And they're like, hey, hold up, we got 4 more.
We've said
And
that every time we
I didn't
talk
even
about
watch
this.
the other in the Resident Evil games. I have a huge fondness for. I think the Resident Evil games,
Surprise,
1, 2, and
motherfucker!
4, especially. I would even say 0 in the
That seems like a
remaster
great place
GameCube
to
of
end this.
1.
Like I said,
Like there's
we
so
ruined
many
the magic
good Resident
ourselves.
Evil
Remaster
games.
Remaster
God,
GameCube 1 is better than the original Resident Evil. So.
Like
Okay.
this
so
is one of
good. And
those
I,
that,
but
like, I never got a chance to play it all
I
the way through,
defend
but
a little bit of the
watched the
PlayStation one
fucking
because we had never seen anything
No,
like
that's
that.
it's fair. It's just I'm just saying they redid it and they redid it so
You
much
know,
better
based
than
on a
it's like,
video
no,
game
it's
you
different
asked
now?
one. So.
Yeah.
we've
much
said
better.
that every
It's
time
so
we
much
talk
better.
about
Like
this.
it's like you don't want to be that guy, but yeah, you should play the GameCube remastered version of it because it's so much better.
Surprise,
They added an
motherfucker!
additional house. There's a whole other subplot of stories that are
That
seems like a
scarier
great
than the
place to end
subplot of
this.
Like
stories
I
we have.
said, we ruined the
keep
magic
all the scares
ourselves.
and all the
really
great
like the story of The
quest
Last
of
of
the
Us
original,
story, too.
which is
Like,
expanding on
This
it.
is one of those
But
that,
yeah,
like, I never got a chance to play it all the way
The
through, but
Resident
I
Evil movies broke my
watched
heart. The Super
fucking
Mario movies broke my heart. I don't want them to make a Legend of Zelda movie. It'll just
based on a
I know.
video
it'll
game.
just be a
you
piece of
asked
I
shit.
know this is gonna be the
We've
hardest one
said
when it
that
comes out.
every
It's
time we
oh,
talked
God,
about
what we
this.
doing?
Slam Dunk, that was a pile of shit. Everyone, Assassin's
Surprise,
Creed,
motherfucker!
all of them, Prince of Persia, all of
Like I said,
That seems
every
like a
comic,
great place to
every
end this.
video
Like I
game,
said,
movie, or
we
TV
ruined the
show.
magic ourselves.
It's just shit.
I really like the story.
Agree
The
to
Last of Us
disagree
story,
on
too.
the
Like,
animated
Okay.
Super Mario
this
Bros.
is one
movie.
of those that, like, I
Ju-
never got a chance
Be-
to
All
play
right.
all the way
only
through, but
because
I
like it was the
watched
most
the
true to
fucking
form.
8-hour
Obviously, the biggest
of
movie in the game. most trailers boring.
Is this based on a video game
is
you
based on-
asked?
and everything else like that.
We've
So.
said that every
Not to say
time
that
we're
animation
talking
is the
about
be-all, end-all
this.
to solving video game movie problems because you still have some that don't work. You know, it worked. And it made $1 billion.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Because it took things
that seems
and
like a
put them
great
together.
place
It
to
just
end
worked
this.
well
Like I
for what it
said,
was, so.
we ruin the magic
But yeah,
ourselves.
no, every other movie, yeah, it's
I really
either
like the story, the last
meh
of the
to
story
just
too.
terrible.
Like
and
this is one of
then you
those
have
that,
people like
like, I
Uwe
never
Boll
got a
who's like,
chance to
I'm
play
just
it
gonna
all the
fucking
way
make
through,
these
but I
movies
watched
regardless.
the
And
fucking 8-hour.
say that doesn't help anything.
Is this based on a video
It
game
is
you
based on
asked?
We've said that
But
every time we talked
The
about
two
this.
most recent shows based off games have worked. One being Last of Us and
Fucking
one being
big
Fallout.
watch a fucking video game.
Surprise,
I still think
motherfucker!
Fallout's too padded, but if you remove like
Like I
That
said,
seems like a great
and
place to
I'm
end
this
this.
way
Like
about
I
everything.
said,
We just
we
saw I
ruin
just
the
saw
magic
Squid Game season
ourselves.
2, and it's not
really like
even
the story,
season
the last
2.
of the
It's
story
Squid
too,
Game.
like
Here's 8
Okay.
episodes.
This is one of
because
those
it's
Here's
that,
half. No,
like, I
here's
never
half
got a
of
chance
what
to play it all the way
we're
through, but
finishing
I
with because
watched
they just
the
announced.
fucking
It's like
8-hour.
problem is it's like you're not good. I'm sorry, Squid Games. I'm not interested in coming back.
Based on a video
Like you're
game
not
is
you
good
based on-
enough to pull them cards.
We've said that
And I would
every time
argue
we
even
talk
Stranger
about
Things
this.
isn't good enough to pull them cards. They're like, oh, our last season is 8 fucking mega
Surprise,
movies. And I was like,
motherfucker!
no, it isn't, bitch. Like, I saw your other seasons. Half those
That
episodes
seems
could have
like a
been
great
cut.
place to end
You
this.
are
Like
the
I
most
said,
padded
we
show
ruin the
in
magic
history.
ourselves.
I love season 1
really
of
like the
Stranger
story, the
Things.
last of the story
And that's
too, like,
kind of, and I
This
like
is
an
one of those
episode or
that,
two
like,
from
I
every
never got a
season
chance to play it
since
all the way
then.
through,
But that's
watched
about
the
it. Like, you're
fucking
so
8-hour.
padded. You're so watered down by your own weight. Like, at this point, where it's just
based on a
like, if you
video
can't
game you
asked
pick a lane and make
We've
it work
said
for
that
Stranger
every
Things, I
time
don't
we talk
know
about
why
this.
anybody is giving you any time whatsoever.
Season 2
Ugh.
for Stranger Things should have just been excised. I don't.
Surprise,
I don't think
motherfucker!
they've come back to any plot point in season 2.
All right.
Like I
That seems
said,
like a
3 or
great
4.
place to
It
end
was-
this.
like I said,
The mall,
we
the
ruined the
mall,
magic
like, it was like,
ourselves.
they
No, that's 3.
on Mac.
I really like
No,
the
that's
story,
3.
the last of the story too. Like
Wasn't
Okay.
it?
this
Really?
is one of those that,
I'm pretty
like,
sure
I
that was
never got a
3.
chance
2
to
was
play
the
it all
one
way
where
through,
she
but I
found out
watched
there were
the
other kids
fucking
from that
8-hour, cutscenes, fucking.
I mean, Max David.
Oh, shit. Is this based on a video
It is
game you
based on-
asked?
necessary because season 3.
We've said that every
almost had
time we
kind of a
talk
soft
about
reboot in our
this.
introduction anyway. So it was like season 2 was kind of unnecessary, just all around. Plus it being 6
Watch
episodes
a
because
fucking
of
video
reasons.
game.
Surprise, motherfucker!
I also, man, yeah, I like Stranger. I really
That
do
seems
like
like a
Stranger
great
Things,
place to
but
end this.
like,
Like I said,
it could
we
have
ruined the
been. It
magic
should have been
ourselves.
like a Twin Peaks
I really
2
like the
season
story, the last of the story too. Like,
show.
this is one of those
It's
that,
so
like, I never got a
padded,
chance to play it all the way
and
through,
it's
but
just a
I
Netflix
watched
thing,
the
you know, where it's like
fucking
if it's a Netflix show, there's going to be 2 or 3 episodes that aren't needed. Without
Is
a
this based
doubt.
on a
Without a
video
doubt.
It is
game you
based on-
asked?
This year, I don't know.
We've
Because they
said
still
that
are not
every time we
straightforward on
talk
when that's
about this.
done. I mean, they've straight up announced that One Piece season 2's done filming, so however long
Watch
that
a
takes to put
fucking
together.
video game.
Surprise,
But
motherfucker!
season 5, the final season of Stranger Things,
Like I said,
That seems like a great place to end this.
Like I
okay,
said,
cool.
we ruined the magic
Yeah,
ourselves.
so-
I
But yeah,
really
I'm
like
looking
the
forward
story,
to
the
many
last of
more
the story
weeks
too.
of
Like
James Cook
Okay.
face
this is one of those that,
Just
like, I never got a chance to
hating
play it all the way
and
through, but I
regretting why he
watched
chose
the
this path
fucking
for his life.
8-hour.
Man, I like it when things are good.
Oh shit! Is this based on a
No, no,
video
I
It is
game?
based on-
But when was the last
Yeah.
time
We've said that
happened?
every time we
You
talk
really
about
liked. What was the last thing you saw that you really liked? That you were like, wow.
Skeleton Crew.
Fucking big watch a
Which one?
fucking
Skeleton Crew.
video game.
Surprise,
Babies.
motherfucker!
Okay, Star Wars movie. No.
That seems
literally
like a
just
great
this
place
past
to end
month
this.
was
Like I
what it
said,
was, so,
we ruined the magic
yeah,
ourselves.
there were things like I was
really
hesitant
like the
towards.
story,
There's
the
things that
last
I
of the
was
story
interested
too,
in,
like,
but came
Okay.
out bad.
This is
and
one
I've
of
said it every
those
single
that,
time.
like, I never got a
Like
chance
most
to
of
play it all the way
most
through,
of
but
Star
I
Wars
watched
TV show
the
properties
fucking
have been.
8-hour.
Ahsoka was fine, but again, that was
Yeah,
it was
is
just
this based
fine.
on a video
wasn't-
It is
game you
based on-
asked? Yeah.
We've said
Had some
that
cool things happen
every
in
time
it,
we
but-
talked about this.
I mean, as was proven to you, you needed to have basically watched Rebels to understand a lot more of it.
Watch
So.
fucking video game.
You did other stuff
Surprise,
for it, so my
motherfucker!
enjoyment of it was greater because I've seen all this stuff, and then yours, who
that
hasn't
seems
seen
like
all
a
this
great
stuff,
place
so you're
to
just
end
basing
Like
it off
I
of what's
said,
on screen in front of
We
you.
ruined the magic ourselves.
It's totally understandable. Acolyte,
the story, the last
Acolyte had
too.
some
Like,
cool parts,
Okay.
and then
This
the
is
rest
one
of
of
it, including
those
the
that
story,
like
was
I
just
never got a chance to play
shit.
it all the way through, but I watched the
Obi-Wan.
fucking 8
Obi-Wan I
hours.
haven't seen this weekend.
Yeah, is this based on a video
It
game
is
you
based on-
asked for?
We've said that every
So-
time we talk
That's the
about
thing,
this.
like, cause there's two bad. There's two badass hours, three okay hours, and then there's a good
Surprise,
several more hours where
motherfucker!
I didn't need any of that. Yeah, cutting it
That
down
seems
to
like a great
2 to
place
2.5
to
hours.
Like I
I
said,
bet that's
We
amazing.
ruined the magic
Because that's probably what it
ourselves.
should have been to begin with.
I really like
Exactly.
the story, the last.
But
of
we'll
the
keep,
story
we'll
too.
keep talking
Like,
about that
Okay.
being
This is
the
one
way
of
they
those
do
that like I never got a
TV
chance
shows
to play it all the way
nowadays with the
through, but
streaming
I
format and how they choose
watched
to go about
the
doing it.
fucking
Like
8
Spider-Man,
hours.
Spider-Man, I enjoyed the 3 most
Yeah,
recent
that's just
episode.
based on a video
But
game
they're
is
you
really
based on-
asked for.
really all
We've
over
said
the place
that
on that.
every
So
time
two
we
the
talk
first week,
about
they did 3
this.
this week. They're doing 3 next week, and then they're finishing off with the last 2.
Ah,
So like this show is getting done,
Fucking video
getting
game.
done before February's
surprise,
out.
motherfucker!
And I think there's like a still week buffer before.
All right.
Daredevil.
That seems like a great place to end this.
Like I
So-
said, we ruined
I
the
said,
magic
I'm enjoying
ourselves.
this show, but Disney obviously
I
didn't
really
have
like
faith
the
in it,
story, the
mostly
last of the
because
story
they
too. Like
announced it 5
Okay.
years ago.
this is
and
one of
it took as
those
long as it
that
took
like
to
I
come out
never got
for
a chance to play it
it's
all the way through,
for
but
all
I
the reasons. And
watched the
whatever and
fucking
all that.
8 hours.
Daredevil should have the same
Oh,
separation.
yeah, is this based on a
Daredevil
video
It
game
is
you
based on-
asked for?
was supposed to be
We've
a
said that every
completely
time we
different
talked about this.
show run than what we're gonna get. Like they went back and redid it.
Fucking big watch
Yeah,
up.
but I
Fucking
think
video game.
Daredevil has
Surprise,
earned
motherfucker!
some good grace from everybody because of like the
Like I
stick
said, that
seems like a
episode
great place
and
to
you
end
know
this.
the
Like I
fucking
said, we ruined the magic
Chinese restaurant
ourselves.
meetup eat episode.
like
You
the
know, it's
story,
like they've
the
done a
last of the
couple
story too.
the
Like,
rooftop
Okay.
this is
episode
one
with
of those
Punisher.
that like
No,
I never
You
got
know,
a chance to play it all
they've
the way
had a
through,
couple
but I
episodes where they've
watched
written.
the fucking 8 hours.
Yeah, the rooftop Punisher episode of season 2 came out same week as Batman v
Yeah, this is
Superman.
based on a
And they
video
told
It
the
is
Batman
based
v
on-
Superman story better than
We've
Batman
said
v
that
Superman. So it
every
was just
time we
like,
talk about
yeah,
this.
what they did in 4 minutes was better than what you could do in 2 hours.
No, yeah, no, it was.
And so,
Fucking
But
video game.
That
Surprise,
era of Marvel
motherfucker!
was more Netflix because
Like
Marvel
that
didn't
seems
have
like a great
television
place to
division
end
at
this.
that point
Like
in
I
time.
said, we ruined the magic
Marvel had a
ourselves.
television division, but it
I really
wasn't
like the story, the
cohesive
last of
with
the
the rest
story
of
too.
Shield.
Like I,
Yeah,
Okay.
cohesive
this
with
is
the
one
rest
of
of it.
those that
Like me,
I
I
never got a
enjoyed
chance
Agents
to play it
Shield.
all the
I
way
understand
through,
there
but
were a lot of bad episodes. I
watched
understand the
the
no,
fucking
I understand the
8
first season, the first
fucking
13 episodes of the season
Yeah, is this
were
based on a
more
video
missed
game
than
you
missed.
asked
And once they got
We've
it
said
going,
that
because they
every
had
time
to
we
wait
talk
for the
about
fucking
this.
Captain America Winter Soldier reveal. Like they were building towards that, and it's like once that happened,
Watch
great.
a fucking
And then
video
after the
Surprise,
first season, then they
motherfucker!
realized that Marvel Studios wasn't really playing ball with the TV series
Like
as
I
much.
that seems like a
They
great
decided
place to
to
end
go
this.
in their
Like
own
I
direction
said,
and were more free to
we
do stuff,
ruined the
and I
magic
enjoyed a lot of stuff they
ourselves.
did. Was it
I really
Star
like the story, the
Trek-y
last of
in
the story
terms of
too.
some of the
Like I,
episodes
Okay.
for like
this is
season
one of
4
those
when they
that
were
like I
free?
never got a
Yes, it
chance to play it
was.
all the way through, but I
But
watched
still,
the
for what it
fucking
was,
8
it
hours.
worked. In the end, I admit at the beginning it was whatever, but
Yeah,
in
this
the
is
end, by
based
the
on
end
a
of it,
video
it was
It is
game you
based
asked
on-
for.
nothing that
We've said
Remember
that
the
every time we
Human-
talked about this.
Which one?
Inhuman.
Yes, I remember the show.
Fucking
Did I watch anything past
Watch
the first
a
You
episode?
think-
fucking video game.
Surprise,
No,
motherfucker!
but I'm not saying their television
Like I
was
That seems
good.
like a great place
I'm
to
saying
end this.
I
Like I
enjoyed-
said,
I
We
enjoyed-
ruined the magic ourselves.
Human killed themselves.
I really like the
Do you think
story,
they're
the last
dead
of
by
the story too.
suicide
Like, I-
now?
Okay.
This is one of those
I don't
that
know,
like I
because,
never got a chance to play it all the way through, but I watched
Black
the
Bolt showed up in
fucking
that
8 hours.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, is this based on a video game
is
you
based
asked
on-
for?
You shut up.
We've said that
the
every
universe,
time
the
we talk
universes are
about
just
this.
merging and doing whatever now. But now that Marvel's brought it all in house,
Fucking
I think
video
the
game.
problem was going to
Surprise,
be with Daredevil.
motherfucker!
Daredevil was going to be a Marvel thing.
Like I
That
said,
seems
and
like
not
a
what
great
it was
place
for
to end this.
Netflix,
Like
and
I
that's why
said,
they had to go back
we
and redo
ruined
it.
the magic ourselves.
Spider-Man again
I really
suffered
like
the
the
same way, but
story,
it's
the
animation,
last
so
of
you
the
just kind of
story
dump it
too.
out there
Like,
and
Okay.
people
This is
watch
one
it or
of
don't.
those that
So.
like I never got a chance to play it all the way through, but I watched
see.
the fucking 8-hour.
We'll see.
cutscenes.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you if you stayed through us with all of that. Jared can give his thoughts on a couple things next week if he wants to. Shit, I still have no idea whose choice it is next week for what we're doing. Hey, we're going to talk about that behind the scenes and maybe come back with the show next week or maybe take it off. We'll see. Because we have 2 weeks before we talk about the newest Marvel project, that being Captain America: Brave New World. And we'll see where they're...
Yeah.
It comes out next Friday, so it'll be after our show. So,
all right. It doesn't look good.
That's fine. It relates to the Eternals. So, the Eternals finally be justified years later.
Yeah, exactly. The new Captain America movie, I think Harrison Ford becomes the Hulk. It's like rather than anger, is so desperate to be in a blockbuster movie before he dies, which I don't know where this is coming from. Harrison Ford, you have money. You have been in some of the biggest movies of all time. It's okay to walk away now. It's okay to retire.
I think he's crashed a few planes we don't know about.
Okay, all
and
right.
he owes money.
You're Indiana Jones and Han Solo and fucking Blade Runner. We'll figure it out. Like, you don't need to do another Indiana Jones. You don't need to do this. I don't know what this is for.
We're bringing.
Yeah, see,
we're bringing back Tim Blake Nelson as the leader.
Yay!
Because we're going.
I hope Papa Pizza shows up from Doctor Strange too. Other than that, I'm not excited about this movie at all. So,
it'll be great. We'll talk to you about it in 2 weeks.
I can't wait to watch another transition media for profit pile of monkey shit that you guys are gonna make for us. But it's all right. Let's do it.
You can go join my wife and watch The Monkey when that comes out. which nobody read.
It's original.
Is it? Is it original?
It's based on a Stephen King book. It's not a sequel or anything.
No.
I guess it's not.
Is it not a reimagining of Monkey Shines?
It totally is.
Okay. It's not original at all.
Yeah.
They are burying that so much.
Next year called Cat's Instinct, where a cat's trying to kill a troll. I'm just gonna say it's an original idea, and just like I'm gonna act like this monkey movie is an original idea, because technically it is.
My favorite thing about that movie so far is the director talking about why the monkey has a drum, is because somehow Disney, in using the monkey with symbols in Toy Story 3, has a copyright hold on being able to use that in movies.
Interesting.
Yeah, but Monkey Shines has the monkey with symbols.
If you ever get bored of your Google, or you can watch YouTube videos on the history of the drum banging monkey toy. There's a history, and it's just as fucked up as you might think. That's worth watching. But yeah, it was developed by a company. If Disney Pixar bought it for Toy Story 3, they might own the rights to that design of that monkey. So yeah,
it's hilarious. But media for profit. Welcome to 2025, ladies and gentlemen. All right, thank you again for joining us. I am Matt Christy.
I'm James Cope.
Phat J was sitting over there in a green screen image. This has been fine. I'll watch it. What was that, James? Oh, slightly. Okay.